It's me. I'm back after not recording one of these for a while because, holidays and responsibilities, families, work stuff. You know how it goes. I know, you were all very devastated that I didn't upload any new episodes of me rambling about incoherent nonsense onto the interweb where there's a million other white guys rambling about incoherent nonsense. But fear not, I have returned. And this time, I'm going to be doing something a little different. It's still Reddit, right? And I'm still reading to you and giving you my thoughts and feelings and whatnot. But instead of just picking a random, am I the asshole that's just out there in the ether that was uploaded, yesterday or a week ago, or whatever the fuck, I'm going to be doing, you've probably heard it if you're on TikTok. You've probably heard it already. It's that Reddit story about the guy talking about poorly optimized vaginas. And if you haven't heard it, then, well, buckle up, because it's a doozy. But yeah, I'm going to read it, and for those that, haven't heard it yet, it's a little older. It's like 8 months old by now, so, like, it's been out there a while. So if you've already seen it, you already heard it, I get it. Probably seen it on TikTok, people reading it, whatever, reacting to it. But, I'm just doing it, too. Because I'm allowed to do that. But at any rate, I'm going to read it. I'm going to give my thoughts and feelings and reactions, and we're all going to have a good-ass time. So, with all that being said, let's get into it, huh? Let's get into the business. Like I said, if you've heard this story before, and if you haven't, oh boy. Okay, dokie, everybody. Let's go, huh? I'm gonna read, I'm gonna react, we're all gonna have fun. As a straight man, vaginas are badly optimized interfaces, and I would prefer them evolutionarily eradicated. Yeah, ready? Yeah, that's the title of the post. So, are you ready? Are you ready, kids? Here we go. I'm a straight man. Doubtful. I love women. Doubtful. I'm not closeted. It's okay that you are. You should probably come out, though. I'm not trolling. I don't think you are. I think you're just confused. I'm just done pretending that vaginas are these sacred, sexy temples of divine femininity. They're not. They're a mess, both in design and function. If evolution had any sense of symmetry, women would have ended up with penises, and the world would be better for it. That's just the first paragraph. There's a lot more. So digest that for a minute, and then feel free to pause if you need to. And, we continue. We ball. Aesthetically speaking, vaginas are chaos incarnate. They make hardly any sense. There's no standard layout, no symmetry, no visual logic, folds on folds, lips of random lengths, hidden bits, and inconsistent shapes. Compare that to the penis. Sleek, functional, symmetrical. Whether flaccid or hard, it has cohesive structure. Vaginas look like they're trying to be secretive. I'm just going to keep reading, and then I'll give my thoughts, at the end, because, it hits a lot better if you just get in one hit right after the other, okay? Because this whole thing, it just gets crazier as you go. Next sentence. The clitoris is great, so why is it buried? The main engine of female pleasure, which is the clitoris, is basically buried treasure with map prerequisites and a term/conditions wall of text you have to read and agree. You need to spread folds, shift skin, and sometimes ask for directions. If women had small penises instead, like literally just the clit externalized, it makes so much more sense. Easy to find, easy to stimulate, easy to please. No more pretending like we all instinctively know the move. Looking at you, Helen. Who the fuck is Helen? Sorry, I diverted there for a bit. Like I said, we'll go back through. I'm going to read the whole thing. We'll go back through and I'll give thoughts and stuff. It would make mutual pleasure so much more straightforward and honest. If a woman wants sex with me, cool, but I should not be needing PhD in female anatomy to deliver whatever she expects me to deliver. I know, right? Then, speaking of health, vaginas are a high-maintenance liability. I don't know why cats keep pretending like the vagina is low effort. It's an internal organ exposed to the outside world. Constant discharge, blood once a month, pH balance issues, yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, UTIs from having sex, quote-unquote, too rough, or wiping the wrong direction. It's like maintaining a biohazard you can't even fully see. I just wash penis with soap. Done. If women had external genitalia like men, half of the medical aisle would be obsolete. Vaggies are a reason sex is less satisfying than it should be. As a straight man, doubtful, I want to love vaginal sex, but it's unpredictable. Sometimes it's too tight. Sometimes there's no sensation. Sometimes the angle is wrong and it just hurts her. Meanwhile, if both partners had penises, you'd get clear stimulation, shared mechanics, and direct communication. Sex would be more mutual instead of this asymmetrical guessing game where one person is always hoping they did enough. Society would function differently and better at that because a lot of toxic gender dynamics come from the invisibility of female desire. If women had visible arousal like a literal bulge when turned on, people might actually take their sexuality seriously. No more, quote-unquote, she's playing hard to get games. No more stigma around women initiating. If she's hard, she's horny. Simple, equal, transparent. That alone could kill half the patriarchy's sexual double standards. Why shame? Women's clothes are designed around holding a secret. Pads, tampons, panty liners, or what it's called, they are all shame. Silence. I just walk without having to pretend I'm shy of my anatomy. Imagine if women had external genitalia. Then there'd be no cultural obsession with tightness or virginity. No more locker room myths. Just genital equality out in the open. No more euphemisms, no more taboo. Just body parts. In fact, even porn would benefit. Ever notice how weird vaginas look in porn unless the angle is just right? It's often just some weird fleshy portal, and the camera's trying to find a way to make it look like anything other than what it is. So small, feminine phallus would other than what it is so small. Feminine phallus would solve that. Okay, now we're almost there, folks. Bear with me. All right. My final thought is, thank God, I'm not saying we scrap vaginas tomorrow. I'm saying if you remove emotion, scan programming, and around 200,000 years of conditioning, the vagina is a badly optimized interface. High maintenance, hard to navigate, and visually chaotic. The penis, despite its own disadvantages, is a superior design, and if women had it streamlined, sensitive, and functional, the world would be simpler. Sex would be clearer, and culture would be more honest. This isn't about being gay, insecure, or onto some shit. It's about seeing past the worship and calling out a flawed design when I see one. There's 2 edits at the end. I'm gonna read those 2, and then we'll dissect. To cats who are seriously saying this means I'm gay, imagine 50 Cent with a vagina and Jennifer Lopez with a penis. Which one is more feminine? What? Edit 2. To women who are saying this insults women, you're implying that womanhood is about sexual genitalia, effectively sexualizing women, which is exactly what your textbook misogynist would do. All right, so we did it. We got there. How you doing? How are you? How are you doing, fair listener? male, female, they, them, friends, anywhere and all in between. Anyone listening, how are we doing after having listened to all of that? Because let me tell you, even though I've heard this story before, right, reading it myself and then coming across those edits, which I have not heard since, haven't heard the story before, I'm not sure where to start here. You know what I mean? If you've listened to me at all before, I'm not usually like someone who's at a loss for words, right? But I am not sure where to go. Bro seems to be really, really insisting that he's not gay. Listen, as a straight man myself, who is also asexual, right? I've mentioned that before. I am asexual. I like to think that I look at sex and relationship dynamics and sexual desires and all that shit. I look at all that shit from a fairly objective perspective, as an outside looking in type of perspective, as somebody who is not like motivated by, sexual desire and such. Like a desire for sex does not motivate any of my decisions. Therefore, I'm able to look at it from a more objective standpoint because I don't get anything out of it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people make dumb decisions because of sex, right? I don't do that because there's no benefit for me, right? So from a purely objective perspective, I don't know if bro is gay or just has had women tell him that he's bad at sex, or if vaginas scare him. I don't know. This was a hell of a rant, and he's looking at the female anatomy as if it's a computing system that he doesn't like to use, right? And I feel like that is close to the perspective that like a gay autistic would have about women's anatomy. You know what I mean? Like when they look at when a gay, I don't know what gay dudes think when they look at women's, genitalia and parts and stuff. I imagine similar to what I think when I look at a man's body, right? Like I don't have like a visceral terrified reaction, but like I don't feel anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I see another dude's junk. Now, mind you, if I see another dude's junk just out in the wild, completely unprompted, I'm gonna have like, whoa, what the fuck? But I'd have that reaction to pretty much anyone flashing me their balls or vag or any sort of private body part out in public. I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because that's shocking and surprising, and you don't really expect to see that every day. But like if you're in an environment where like a locker room, right? You're in a locker room or like at the beach or somewhere where it's like, especially a locker room, like where it's just like you're like more prepared and expected to see that shit. Like I don't look at a dude's body and I'm like, oh my god. Like I don't have like a visceral like oh what the fuck reaction. I don't really have any reaction. If I'm in the locker room and I see another dude's junk, I'm like, okay, that's there. That exists there. We're all here. We're in the same space. Let's get dressed, do what we got to do, move on, right? And it's conversely, like when I see like a woman who is in a state of undress, it depends on the context, right? Of like if we're out in the wild and random woman just runs up to me and says, "Oh, titties," I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, holy shit!" You know what I'm saying? Like that was weird. But like say you're watching porn or something. You watch what you're attracted to. I would watch women, right? This guy, I don't know, right? Getting it back to this guy. What? I'm sorry if I'm kind of rambling all over the place. I really don't know what to think, right? I don't know what to do about this guy. Clearly, my man's has some kind of some kind of wires are being crossed somewhere, right? Like I feel like he really thinks like he's like on to something. He's really like, oh, I've cracked the code, right? Like I'm gonna educate. I've discovered this. I've come to this conclusion. Now I'm gonna educate the masses on this amazing discovery that I've made about how, you know, vaginas aren't good. They're bad. And vaginas being bad would be an opinion for a gay man to have, you know? But I almost feel like calling this dude just straight up gay is maybe an insult to the gay community, right? Because this guy, like, seems to hate vaginas. And I don't think that gay dudes hate vaginas. They're not attracted to them, obviously. But I don't think they hate them. This guy seems to hate vaginas. Like he is analyzed and dissected the whole topic of vaginas in such a way that could only come from a deep, visceral hatred of the topic, right? Because, like, he's like that whole rant he went on about the clit, right? About how it's so hard to find that, like bro really just went on a whole rant of telling on himself that he doesn't know how to please a woman. Is what I'm gathering, right? Like, this, because a lot of people who've heard this story have said, like, oh, bro's in the closet, bro's the calls come from inside the house. And you know what? It's very possible that bro is, in fact, just gay and very angry and confused about that fact. But I think it's entirely just as likely that he's just, like, a sad little incel boy that has tried to please women and can't. And they've, like, laughed at him or made him feel bad about that because, you know, he gets in there, fucking slaps some things around a few times and says, "Did you come?" Right? One of those guys, one of those fucking just shove it in and oof, and then be like, "Did you come?" One of those guys, you know the guys that just pay no fucking attention whatsoever. But it sounds like this guy didn't do it from a perspective of, like, malintent, like he didn't care about a woman's pleasure. It's like he couldn't figure it out, right? It's like he couldn't figure out how the vagina works. And instead of learning, right, instead of like doing research, getting some practice in and learning about it and being like, okay, so, you know, because I mean, vaginas are more complex than penises in a sense of, like, how they operate and everything like that. Like, there's more to it. But they're not, like, that crazy you can figure it out. It's not like they're like, oh my god, this insane. And, like, he's like, they're all so different. You mean, like, I guess? I mean, they're all basically structured the same. I mean, some have some, like, different fucking compositions, I guess. God, this is such a weird fucking topic to talk about. But, like, they're all pretty much functionally similar. What the individual woman likes may very well differ, but there's this pretty much set of guidelines you can pretty much follow with most of those sexual encounters with women, and pretty much get where you need to go, both of you, right? You both can get some enjoyment out of the situation. At least that's been my experience in my life, and frankly, I've had a bit. So, D-Man the Voice is a whore. Reformed, right? That was back in the day before I discovered myself. But this isn't about me. This is about this weird guy and his obsessive hatred with vaginas. I don't know. Anyway, I said this is such a weird thing to talk about, especially because, like, I mean, bro's obviously, like, off his rocker, right? He's, like, off his shit. But I'm trying to... I mean, ideally, it's just, why are we talking about this at all, right? Like, why is bro so enamored with this? Like, why is this something that occupies bro's thoughts? And the only thing I can come up with is that he's mad that he can't figure out how to please a woman. Or, again, he's gay and very angry and very confused about that fact. So, and like I said, instead of doing his research and trying his best and practicing and whatnot, he's just mad. He's like, no, it's not my fault. Vaginas are the problem. That's the type of time bro is on right now. He's like, it can't be me. I'm perfect. Vaginas must be the problem. They're wrong. They're structured wrong. Excuse me. They're structured wrong, right? They're confusing and weird, and I don't know what to do. And, you know, So I just and he uses so much weird language. Like when he said vaginas were chaos incarnate, holy shit! That makes it sound like vaginas are a goddamn D&D boss. Like what are we talking about? Like, vaginas are chaos incarnate is an insane sentence. Chaos incarnate. Holy shit! Not to mention, he said, if a woman wants sex with me, cool, but I should not be needing a PhD in female anatomy to deliver whatever she expects me to deliver. You would need an MD, not a PhD, but, you know, you not being very smart is kind of makes sense given everything you've said. And he's talking about how they're a high maintenance liability. I mean, I suppose they're more high maintenance than a penis is, surely. But that's, you know, that's more. That sucks more for the women because they're the ones who have to maintain them, right? And so I'm trying to find a way. Like, you know, in these situations, I always try to see everyone's side of things. So I'm trying to find a way that bro isn't just completely bonkers, and I can't do it. Like he really thinks he's onto something. He really thinks he's like, oh yeah, vaginas are a poorly optimized interface. I'm not gay though. I'm not gay, and I'm not. This is I'm on to something here. I'm on to it. Vaginas are bad. They're bad. They suck. The way they are designed sucks. And like, the only reason he would feel that way is because he's had repeated efforts to try and do something with them, make them feel pleasure, and can't. So instead of, again, learning and being better, he's really, really mad at it, and so now he's like, no, vaginas are the problem. I want to get to this edit here at the bottom that I've honestly been thinking about the whole time. That might be why I've been kind of like stumbling and kind of trying to find because I've just been thinking about this edit. Because this part I haven't heard before. All the rest of this I had already heard, right? Because it went viral or whatever. But this last part I haven't heard anywhere. And I didn't know this was part of it. Edit. To cats. Also, he keeps calling us cats. Which. Are you fucking Kaneki from goddamn Greece? Like, cats? Are you a 1950s grease ball? Cats? The fuck? Are you a 1960s jazz musician? Fucking cats? Stop calling us cats. The fuck? To cats who are seriously saying this means I'm gay, imagine 50 Cent with a vagina and Jennifer Lopez with a penis. Which one is more feminine? What? What? What point are you making? What point do you think you're making with that sentence? Let me say that again. To cats who are seriously saying this means I'm gay, imagine 50 Cent with a vagina and Jennifer Lopez with a penis. Which one is more feminine? What the fuck are you talking about? What are you trying to say there? How does that at all disprove that you're gay? Again, if you are, that's fine. You being gay wouldn't be the problem. It's the level of anger you appear to have towards vaginas that's the problem. But what is imagining 50 Cent with a vagina and Jennifer Lopez with a penis, what does that have to do with anything? What is the point you're trying to make? Are you saying that you'd be attracted to Jennifer Lopez with a penis ahead of 50 Cent with a vagina because you're not gay? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, I'm genuinely so, like I said, I've been thinking about this sentence the whole time because what? The way people's fucking minds work, man, flabbergasts me sometimes. What is that? Imagine you heard that in real life. Imagine somebody, like, you're trying to help somebody come to terms with their sexuality, right? Somebody's denying that they're gay, and you're like, it's okay. It's okay that you're gay. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? This is a safe place. I can help you with this. We're gonna get through this together. I know this can be scary, but like we can do this, right? Like just trying to be supportive and shit. And they're like, I'm not gay, bro. Imagine 50 Cent with a pussy, okay? Weird. But imagine J-Lo with a fat cock, and now we're talking, right? So how could I be gay in that sense? What? Like, that is one of the most insane... There is no context in which that is an acceptable sentence. Like, let alone as a way to explain how you're not gay. Bro, I'm not gay, okay? Imagine 50 Cent with a vagina and Jennifer Lopez with a penis. Right? So, imagine that, and I can't be gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. So that's what I've been, and I've always said that. Right? Like, that's... oh, God. You want to talk about chaos incarnate? Bro's fucking thought process is chaos incarnate. Jesus Christ. And then this second edit, too, which, again, I haven't been thinking about as much because it's not as absurd as the first one. But this second edit. To women who are saying this insults women, you are implying that womanhood is about sexual genitalia, effectively sexualizing women, which is exactly your textbook misogynist would do. Now, after bro wrote his fucking thesis paper on his hatred of vaginas, now he's trying to flip it around on women and saying, well, if you disagree with me, then you're actually the misogynist, because you're tying your identity as a woman to having a vagina. I mean... Bro went on a whole rant about how he hates the most, like, biologically fundamental aspect of being a woman. Obviously, being a woman entails a whole lot more than having a vagina, right? But, like, if we're talking because he talked very clinically, we're talking from a purely biological perspective, that is the foremost identifier between man and woman is the genitalia, since that's the fucking topic conversation we're on right now. So I think that women are allowed to be miffed that you just spent however many fucking paragraphs talking about how their most formative identifier as a woman is chaos incarnate and poorly optimized and ugly and shitty and bad in every single fucking way. I think women are allowed to be a little bit upset about that. Call me fucking crazy, but I feel like they're well within their rights to be a little bit miffed at your assertions that you made throughout this whole fucking thing. And the fact that bro was like, even porn would be better with two dicks. You're just saying that you would prefer to watch gay porn. And that's fine. It's really fine. And like maybe not even gay porn. Maybe to convince yourself, right? Maybe you should watch like some like chicks with dicks situations, right? There's anything out there for you, whatever you're into, you can find, right? You could find a nice shapely woman with, all the quote-unquote feminine features that you claim you're looking for that also has a penis. That would be just perfect for you. Maybe that's what you're attracted to, right? Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you're not straight up like gay, right? You're not attracted to males, traditionally masculine physical features, the beard, jawline, broad chest, all that shit, right? You're not attracted to that. Maybe what you're attracted to is women with penises, right? And there's a category for that, my guy. There's a whole bunch of videos for that, and that's okay if that's what you're into, right? If you're attracted to femininity, right? like the long flowing hair, a more slender jawline, right? Like more more feminine features, right? You're attracted to femininity. That's fine, right? But if you also receive sexual arousal from a phallus being attached to all that femininity, that is okay too, right? That is okay. It is okay that is what you're attracted to, and you can find that. You can find that out there. Every pot has a lid. And like I said, not only is that definitely a category, it's a pretty popular category too on the old hub. So, my guy, like I said, I think we solved it, folks. I think I transcended and we solved it. He's not gay, strictly speaking. He's just, he likes trans women, right, who haven't gotten bottom surgery. That's what he likes. We've discovered it. We've figured it out. He likes trans women who haven't gotten bottom surgery. That is what he's attracted to. We got it. We got it. We got him. We got him, boys. We got him. We figured out. That's what we're at here, right? Because bro likes the femininity, but also needs a cock. I got it. I figured it out. He likes trans women who haven't undergone bottom surgery yet. That is bro's type, and he's very angry and very confused about it. So instead of being like, wow, this is an awakening and something I've discovered about myself, interesting, he's like, vaginas are evil. That's where he's gone. He instead of doing his own path of self-discovery about what he is into and what he's attracted to, he has decided to decry vaginas as a whole. Because, they're chaos incarnate. Anyway, I've spent I think it's been like a half an hour now, of me just talking about vaginas and other genital topics. And I think I'm done now. So, thanks for listening. If you've hung in there this whole time, I'm sure it was quite the something. So thanks for being here. And, let's get into the outro, I guess. Holy shit. Okay, guys. I'm back. Now. Gathered myself a bit, had some water, did some soul searching, collected myself. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you thought, if you liked it, Download wherever you get your podcasts at, comment, subscribe, whatever. Before I go though, I'm going to talk about, as I always do it at the end of a recording, I do a special message, everybody. And today's special message, oh God, I don't know. I don't really know how to pull, cause I usually try to make my special messages like some kind of either uplifting something or some kind of message or some kind of something, right? Something meaningful, right? I don't really know how to pull something meaningful from this man's rant about the devilry that is female anatomy. I will say, I hope that this young gentleman, because I know he's young, I hope that this young gentleman, discovers himself, right? Comes to terms with his sexuality and what he's into and what he likes, I hope that he finds himself and achieves happiness, and then later in his life reflects on what he said and what he's done and tries to do better going forward. I don't know, man. Just, there's so many people out there that really do struggle with their identity, right? And a lot of self-discovery, it comes from time, experiences, you know, but what the most important thing is perspective. Gaining some perspective on yourself and your place in the world, right? And understand that who you are is always changing. Who you are, what you want out of life, what you're seeking, it's a moving target, you know? Uh, what you wanted 5 years ago may not be what you want now. You know, what you thought your life was going to look like, you know, in 10 years maybe isn't what it looks like, you know? Life is crazy. It changes. Your preferences change. You meet new people. You know, like I said, it's a moving target. And so, past all of what we've talked about, all the craziness and the funny shit and all the whatever, I think it's important for people to understand that it's okay to not fully understand your place in the world yet, right? It's okay to try new things and feel new things and discover new experiences. It's okay if you start feeling things that you never thought you would feel before, right? Maybe you were raised to believe one way, and then you get out into your life, you become your own person, and you discover that maybe those values that were instilled into you in a young age aren't actually the ones that you have. Maybe the feelings you were told to feel aren't the ones that you actually feel, right? Maybe you like women. Maybe you like men. Maybe you like both. Maybe you like trans people. Maybe you like no one, right? You know, maybe you like everything. It's maybe you're attracted to a mind or a heart or whatever, you know? Whatever it is that brings you a sense of joy and fulfillment and like you're finding your place in the world, whatever that is, professionally, personally, romantically, what have you. It's okay, right? It's okay to love that person. It's okay to pursue those feelings, right? And maybe you pursue those feelings and discover that that's not what you want. And that's okay too. But what you can't do is get so wrapped up and caught up in the fact that you feel like what you're feeling is wrong, that instead of breaking through that, you instead internalize it and then lash out at everyone else that is living their life and living their truth in a way that you feel like you never could, and won't be able to ever. And so I'm just telling you that it's okay. Whatever your truth is, it's okay to live it. Just don't turn it into something ugly you use to hurt other people. Okay? That's all I got. That's the message. I hope everyone with a vagina has a great day. Bye.